about me
It's live.
being such a good caster that people just would completely.
Anyway, 4 games planned today, only 2 going live, 2 DQs for Nitro Genius not showing up to their game, and Hypnotic Academy forgetting to reschedule. That being said, though, we had a last-minute game added this morning, and we managed to crunch it into our schedule. The fact that the previous game's not going ahead makes this all the more easier to go in. Omen versus Luxor Esports, and that one is due to start in roughly 13 minutes. If you just joined the stream, welcome. I'm joined by Fowley, who's co-casting with me.
Hello.
Other than that, really, this is definitely an exciting game in terms of it's probably the first time me and you have cast in terms of a team we've seen before of
Yeah.
Omen, and a team that we've seen the Academy team play, which is Luxor Esports Academy. So a lot to play for here, and 2 extremely strong teams.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not laughing because there's anything necessarily a joke about that. The reason I am actually laughing is because it's one of those games where I've been saying I say we've both been saying that, oh, this game's 50-50, this game's 50-50. Like, if we're actually talking seriously here, this game genuinely is 50-50. Both of these teams are so, in my opinion, look at, and again, you know me, everyone that's tuning into these streams previously knows this. My standpoint is I will judge a team based on their league standings, assuming that's the only information they have. Technically speaking, Luxor would have the advantage here, but if you look at the round differences, the scores for, scores against, score difference, these are things that really will play a difference in my decision making here. And these teams are like almost completely similar with like 1 or 2 rounds in between. It's it's definitely going to be an exciting one. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I've seen Omen play, and for me, I'm going with Omen for this one. So 50-50 for the casters on who we're probably predicting here. I've seen Omen play. I think they're a quality side, and Luxor Esports are really gonna have to surprise me if they're gonna have a chance here. We've had some really quality plays from some of their players in the previous game. A Mirage game, which you can actually, I was going to say you can catch it in one of these boxes, but I've not quite got the VOD up in the on the screen yet. For those interested though, this is the league on the screen now, and not the one that we're going into at the moment. You'll have to wait for that one to come round. I believe what div are these teams in? Is it Div 1?
1, yeah.
1. So that'll come back round in a moment on your screen.
Yeah, so I mean, again, for those who, yeah, it's me and Incy have previously casted an Omen game. I think from what I remember, I think, did you mention it just a second ago that it was Omen versus I can't quite remember the name.
Omen versus
Cajun's Money Crew.
Yeah.
I believe it was. And yeah, that was a very close game. Both teams, extremely good teams. I mean, I say extremely good. Obviously, one is technically better than the other in a way. I mean, they won, so that would be the implication. But they both played equally as good, and all the players were super respectful. Yeah, so I mean, again, in my opinion, Luxor could come out of this with the win. But because I've watched Omen play, I kind of feel that the advantage might play in their favor. Like, if I was watching as a spectator, when I'm watching pros play, if I know a team more than the other, usually my opinion would be swayed in that way. As for this, coming from a standpoint of a caster, and knowing a little bit about the team's league placements, I don't know. I think Luxor has a good chance, and considering how Omen played, again, it's depending on the maps as well. If we see another Mirage, we've seen how Omen play on that. They're really aggressive. They really know how to play that map quite well as a unit. They flash really well for each other. The communication is clearly something they focus on throughout the entire game. It is something that will be something to look out for.
Well, in terms of these 2 teams, I've spoken to both teams at certain points, and their players as well. In terms of the respect, I expect these teams to show each other, a great deal of respect. Both, really nice players in turn. both teams, especially Omen, we've got to see Omen play. We've got some star players in there that can really sort of shine in certain situations. I think what I'd like to do at this point is, for those that are actually viewing the stream at the moment, just waiting for this one to start, if you've got any predictions, drop them down in chat. Let me know why you think they're going to be the winner. That being said, moving out, I'm just going to throw out some tweets, just check some different bits and pieces, make sure the stream's fully set up. We should be due to go live at 9 o'clock, so I'm just going to grab the GeoTV and I'll get that through to you as well, buddy.
I mean, for those who don't know, there was supposed to be a previous stream on this channel between us two casting. Unfortunately, due to a issue with one of the teams, we won't mention names, but due to one of the teams, you can go check Twitter, and obviously it was announced and stuff, but there was an issue with one of the players on another team. This was also the issue, unfortunately, yesterday, which is, it keeps popping up at the moment. But yeah, it was definitely a it's definitely been a day of some rescheduling, some mix and match of what's happening. So we unfortunately missed out a match. I believe, and I could be wrong here, I think it was a Div, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it was a Div 3 game between Hypnotic Academy and DDD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a Div 3 game they were supposed to cast. One of the teams unfortunately had an issue, which meant they couldn't actually attend it. So whether or not that's being rescheduled, I don't know. I will keep you up to date as much as we can throughout the next few days, or next few hours, when we find out exactly what's happening and what's going on. We'll find out, I guess.
Just realised as well, we do need a stream title update, so I'm just going to get on to the admin, get that sorted out.
I already have the IP, by the way. We're all good.
Yeah, it's the same as previous.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this one's gonna be the one to look out for me, and
two top teams basically.
Yeah, these are the top two teams in Division 1. It is definitely going to be a game to look out for. If you're new to the stream, I would like to say welcome. My name is Valley. Obviously, I'm the co-caster of INSEE. You can see our Twitterats and stuff on the Twitter machine. Pretty easy to find out what they are. Just type our names in on Twitter, you can find us. Obviously, RDYUP is the league we're casting. If you want to know anything more about that, you can easily check it out using the panel down below for the website, so you can go check out any of the leagues that you're interested in yourself. I'm excited for this match.
I was just going to say, it goes far to say they might have some... surprised they don't have some Twitch commands set up for chat, but...
We can probably get that sorted at some point or something.
That being said, we are waiting for the players to load into the game. Just a little bit longer now, 5 minutes until start time. So we're getting ready to kick this one off. I think, it's probably worth talking about just sort of in terms of players to watch this game. Omen definitely with some strong players. If you're going to really keep an eye on one of them this game, I believe it was Zesty for Omen, who dropped quite a lot of frags in the previous game. So he's going to be your person for the Omen team to watch out for. And in terms of Luxor, not quite sure just yet. First game casting Luxor. Certainly will be an interesting one, and certainly one we will keep going back to in their future games. Luxor, before we were casting official for RDYUP, were requesting for us to cast for their teams, so I can see no reason why we wouldn't want to cast for them in the future and cast their games.
Definitely an exciting match. I mean, there's a lot to look out for in this one. I mean, obviously, if we're looking at it from a standpoint of obviously using the league standings and stuff, I won't constantly mention them, but if we're going to keep going off of the league standings and stuff like that, then look at the Division 1 and obviously, who could win this match, who might not win this match. It can kind of go either way, like we mentioned. But in my opinion, the reason this match is kind of super important is because this is going to be a team's first loss. If Luxor loses, they'll be heading 3-1. And if Omen actually loses this one, they'll be 2-1. So if Omen actually does end up winning this one, they'll be catching up with Luxor in league points. They'll be all the way up to 9, I believe.
Games played.
Yeah, exactly, and games played. So, but again, they will catch up to them on points, which is going to be really good for Omen. If Luxor doesn't win, I don't think they're in any immediate danger of their league placing at being number one. They might obviously get like relegated to number two or whatever. But we'll just have to see what happens there. They are in a really good spot. I mean, at the moment, they're one of the only teams to remain with 3 games played with 3 wins and no losses. So that is a achievement in itself. Uh, like I said, that adds another level to this. Maybe that goes into some mentality for the players of Luxor. Maybe they're a bit, I wouldn't say nervous. I mean, you never want to be nervous heading into a game, but you got to think about it. You're undefeated at the moment. You want to try and keep that number one spot in your division. You don't want to lose it to anybody. And if you're Omen, the pressure's kind of mounting a little bit. You're trying to fight for that top spot. You're trying to build some points within your kind of bracket or your division, and this would put them into number one, number two spots. So we'll just have to see how those factors actually end up being been having issues on the players if they do or don't.
Yeah. Going forwards, we've got the first player just loaded into the server now, so I'll get a little window popped up for you when we return to the other screen. Going forward into tomorrow's games, I noticed in the previous stream we got a couple of mentions asking when, if we're going to cast this game or that game tomorrow. For those who are in the RDYUP Discord, you'll get the schedule a little bit later tonight. We don't like to announce it too early because, well, 2 out of 4 of our games today didn't go ahead due to scheduling. Or lateness, so it's just not worth taking that risk. So we'll announce it later tonight. We'll have a little look, see which ones we can do in terms of timing. But we do have availability to cast games tomorrow, which is the good thing. So that'll get announced on Discord. For those that aren't in the Discord or not a member of the, it's essentially a player, you can also follow myself or Fally on Twitter. Links are in the top left, I believe. Let's have a look. Top left. I had to double check that there and switch back.
Keeping his eye on, lads. He's keeping his eye on.
Gotta get the socials.
I just want to take the time to genuinely thank everybody that has been supporting me and Nincy while casting on the RDYUP, and even when we haven't been. It has been, at least in my opinion, a super fun time to be streaming under you guys, and obviously be helping everybody within the league. And it's just been good to meet everybody and see some faces that I haven't. And it's always really fun to get involved in the CS scene. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody, not just at RDYUP, but also in the RDYUP community. You guys have made casting so much easier and so much more fun for me personally.
Oh, bless you.
Nice. And I'll be the nice one and say it, but Carl will just try and mug me off. That's a good casting duo right there.
That's just a daily thing though, really. So looks like we've got 4 of the Luxor players loaded into the server, at least on sort of where we are in terms of delays. We have got full confirmation from Luxor that we're going to play in today, and I can see no reason, especially considering the way
they're all in. The fact they're all in.
Yeah, all 5 Luxor are in. It's just a case of waiting for Omen now.
There we go. I believe. Oh no, sorry, that was one of them. Man, I just noticed it just really delayed. Came up in my chat.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not like it's the first round of our casting is always, are they going to show up basically? Obviously, the more the tournament progresses, the more the teams left over, the more dedicated they'll be in terms of, especially when we get to the playoffs. That won't become a thing anymore, hopefully. I think if you've managed to get to the playoffs, you're going to show up to your games. So
yeah, I mean, without trying to, and again, Incy knows that I'm relatively vocal about this, but I mean, it is a shame that we've had some issues where players are rather choosing to not show up on time, not show up at all. And at the end of the day, it's not just them that they're kind of, I mean, whether or not if it isn't something they can help, obviously that's not their fault. I don't blame them for that. You've got to keep in mind, the enemy team's going to be waiting for the majority of the day. Going to be, probably a practice almost the entire day, getting ready for the match. You got to think of RDYUP itself. People who are hosting the league. You got to think about how that negatively affects them. Stuff like that. It's and for casters, obviously, it's quite. Sometimes it's quite annoying. We get ready for a stream and we load up the stream. We got to be like, sorry guys, okay, we'll see you in an hour for the next one. It can be a bit confusing sometimes, not just for viewers and stuff. So But usually we keep everyone up to date on Twitter. So if you, like I mentioned before, if you're not following RDYUP, come follow us. We usually keep everybody up to date. So
Going forward in terms of this game, just a quick word with Zesty, one of the players for Omen, does say that they are all going on, and I can see them all coming to CSGO and EAC as we speak. So we should see a game starting very soon. Last one of the day, Omen versus Luxor Esports. You can see in the top right the feed. That'll be going full screen once we head into 9th round. It's also worth saying as well that we are playing on Mirage at the moment. However, this is not the vetoed map. This is simply the last map that was played on this server. So no confirmations on what the map is yet. That being said, sort of an open question to both you, Farley, and chat. What maps do people want to see?
Two top tier teams, two teams that are fighting against their first loss, I should say. I want to see a map which we haven't really seen before. I want to see a map that's going to be relying on, a lot of good communication, a lot of good team play. Ideally, a team with more skill would technically win it, in my opinion. Something like Train is a good example of something like that, in my opinion. You have to be a very skilled team to be able to win that map against other skilled teams. Cobble would be a really good map. So one of those two. But I mean, I'm not really. I for the first time this league, I'm not actually the map we see. I'm just hoping it's not Nuke. I'll say that. Any map but Nuke.
I don't think we'll get Nuke again. I think that was picked as a meme.
Any map but Nuke.
I'd suggest considering Omen's previous game was Mirage. A strong win on Mirage. We might see Mirage again.
Yeah.
It's certainly possible.
I mean, asking me what I want to see, obviously, versus what I think it will be is a different thing. I mean, like you just said, I think Mirage could be a very likely choice for both these. I mean, I haven't, again, we haven't seen Sword play, or at least I haven't, so I don't know what their pick and bans are like. I would like to assume that maybe if Mirage gets left up for, like Mirage versus Cobble, maybe the veto comes in for Mirage and we'll get to see a nice little, not even a nice little, like, proving ground for Omen, but we'll finally get to see what they do against a team which may be a little bit more evenly matched compared to last time. I'm not saying it wasn't an evenly matched match before, but obviously this one seems to be probably the most evenly matched we've seen in this division. So
yeah, we've seen two at the bottom play. We've now seen two at the top play in terms of league standings. By the two at the bottom, I mean the one we did yesterday. It's worth noting. Certainly interesting. Like I said, keep your eye on Zesty. I believe it was Zesty from the previous stream that we did. Definitely a player that has the ability to sort of explode and sort of, except when he's coming behind towards B with a CZ and misses all his shots completely. We did see that.
Right. So, seeming that we were asking chat.
I think Mike's disconnected there,
people inside. Has it?
No, you're back now.
Oh, okay, cool. Out of interest, I mean, we were asking earlier. I'm gonna throw the question out there. If no one puts it in chat, that's fine. But I mean, let's say put one for Omen, two for Luxor, and see what the overwhelming response is. Even if you're a player, go ahead and make the chat look a little bit more lively.
So what was that again?
So one for Omen, two for Luxor. So if you're thinking it's going to be Omen map, obviously taking the win, put a 1. If you think it's going to be Luxor, put a 2.
So you heard it right there. 1's for Omen, 2 for Luxor. We're waiting for one more player to join the game, and we should be seeing the veto come in once we get that player.
What number are you spamming in chat right now, Kyle? What if you're a viewer? What number are you putting in chat?
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, but it's got to be a 1.
I think you would do it. You would put
It's got to be a 1. It's got to be a 1.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to pick a team if I don't have to. But I mean, people want to know who you sort of not rooting for. By no means am I rooting for an Omen win.
Because you're a caster and you're not allowed to be biased.
I'm a caster, not allowed to be biased, but I believe it should be an Omen win. Very good team.
I would use the word like it could be an Omen. It should be sounds like it's almost a given that it would be. I feel personally that Luxor, I mean, looking at league standings, they have a lot of ground to stand on. So I really don't think. I really don't think it's fair to say maybe they should be winning this. I mean, based on the fact I have watched Omen play, like I mentioned earlier, I have that experience watching them, so maybe that gives them the advantage in my head. So I would probably be saying Omen because I've seen them play. But it's really difficult for me. Um, I really want to kind of. I don't know. It's kind of unfair as well because I feel bad for whoever loses because first loss and that could. I mean, not necessarily demoralize, but it depends on. I mean, it has a lot of effect on the future matches and stuff like that. So I mean,
well, it's the core of a good team to come, bounce back from a loss anyway. So
yeah. Who do you think? Who do you think is going to make some of the biggest players? I mean, I know you've been saying Zesty, but do you think? I mean, Steve. I mean, let's not take anything away from these players, by the way, at all. I mean, they all played phenomenally throughout that Mirage game. I mean, they were, like I said, the flashes, the team play, everything was just like insanely good by them, especially on Mirage. So,
well, Steve knows what he's got to do. It's in his head. He needs to get to CT, get that one-way smoke down again. Let's get it instead of 3. Let's go for 4 AWP shots through a one-way. I mean, I'd love to go back and have a little look at that one. Maybe see it from Cajun's Money Crew's perspective. Was that actually a one-way, or did they just genuinely not expect him to beat that twice? 3 times in total, technically.
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting play that he made. You're not going to see that very often. Whether or not that'll happen again this game, I want to say I hope that it does, but at the same time, I'm a little bit more convinced this time that Luxor is a bit more aware and probably won't be. I don't know. They probably won't let that happen in terms of that kind of positioning. So we'll just have to see, like you said. I mean, it's definitely going to be one of the most interesting matches I've casted. I don't really feel like we've watched. I mean, if we had got to stream some of the earlier games and stuff like that, it'd been a lot more equal from today at least. Not the one at 4, but the one at 6. If we got to do the one at 6, I think technically that might have been an equally as equal game, possibly. From what I can remember, it a little bit what it was. So we'll just have to see. Really, it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be fun. I think we are just waiting for one player to restart their PC. So we'll see what happens.
Which player was that one? Well, that was someone on the D side, so I'm not too sure what's going on in terms of Omen at the moment.
If it was one of the players on CT, I think someone said that they're going to go play against some bots real quick to warm up.
Oh, fair enough.
I think that was because he was getting ready for one of the...
Oh, here we go. Last incoming. It needs to be fast. It's got 6 minutes.
So, here's an interesting thing I'm curious about. I've just noticed that on the Luxor side, someone has a hashtag coach in their name. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but is that implying that he's the coach for this team, or is that a reference to something else? I mean, obviously I don't, but
well, that possibly could be standing. Maybe someone from chat could fill us in. Maybe he's just memeing. Who knows?
Who knows? That's got a Mirage bit, though.
Yeah, it's a Mirage bit.
I'm actually happy about that.
Looks like we find out the map choice as soon as the players do, because it flicks the GeoTV server instantly. Because I got one of the players to message me as soon as the map choice, but now it comes out straight away. Looks like we just have to wait for a round's worth of time before our broadcast starts. So moving into Mirage now. Omen, the last game we casted for them was a confident Omen win in the end.
Yep.
It's just going to be a case of seeing if they can replicate that against Luxor Esports. Probably a bit more of a challenge in terms of, based on league standings. But going forward, as mentioned, is sort of something similar that we mentioned in the previous game that we casted, is these games give us a brilliant opportunity to watch the teams we've not played before, and then it gives us an insight for next games and the games going forward. Gives us a better idea of who's going to be the favourite and who's not going to be the favourite. At the moment, we can only really speculate because we've not seen Luxor play. We don't know their skill. I'm only suggesting that Omen are going to win simply because I think they're a really solid team. Luxor are going to have to really surprise me here by sort of being even better than them, and you'll certainly see me becoming a little bit more sort of hyper towards Luxor if that is the case. But at the moment, just waiting for everything to catch up for us on our end. Should be getting started very soon. Can't see any reason why we'd need to wait any longer once all the players are in the server.
Let's not let's not jinx it. Let's just see how it all goes. And,
all of the players
play
loaded
out.
in now.
Cool.
Just waiting for some readies. As soon as we're all ready, I'll flick us over to the main screen and the game will begin.
Yep. I mean, just so I can say as well, I seem to have.
Yeah, you might just have to click retry in a minute.
Yeah, no,
it's
we're
good.
good.
Cool.
I personally think that I kind of want to say that I think maybe Luxor will take this, but
well, let's just see how it goes.
We haven't seen both. I think both teams are. I'm just hoping for a good match from both teams. I'm not really necessarily looking for anyone to impress me. I'm just hoping that I see a good equal game. Like I've said that a lot now, but with this one, I'm hoping to see some really clutch, intense rounds. We saw it on the 4 p.m. game. We saw a lot of interesting rounds that maybe some players weren't supposed to win, and they were. So we'll have to see how this round goes.
Yeah, just waiting for T-Moment to ready up as soon as there we go, and we're going into knife round now.
Now, I can't remember, but did Omen win the knife round on the last game that we watched? Difficult answer.
No, I'm pretty sure they were second half CT, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I would assume Luxor are going to want to go CT, and that they are.
Alright, so if you haven't made your picks already, guys, I've got warm-up ending in seconds, so picks already. Make sure you do so now as we load in. Who are you hopping on board with first, then? Who are we giving the? Are you going to go with a bit of zesty?
Well, yeah, we'll go for Zesty Cam. I'm sure it was Zesty who was the. It was either Zesty or Zinked who we had the eye on, but I'm pretty sure it was Zesty. So we'll have a bit of Zesty Cam for round one.
JCO getting a really nice entry into the little rapid section there.
Yeah,
really catching them off. He's broken this completely.
Zesty though, 1 kill already. Spots the other player gets taken down, and we are left with Zinks.
Wow. I'm sorry, I don't know if you caught that, but JCO already in the pistol round picking up a 3k, and it was an impressive 3k at that. Completely stopping that push. What dominance! That was a dominant little performance there. That was really good.
Well, it looks like we're going to see the T's switch sides this time and go for B. Playing this one a little slow, just seeing if they can get one of the Luxor players to push them, possibly take one of them out with a CZ or a Deeg. I'm not offended this game like I was the last game. No one's bought a Tech 9, so everything's good there. Looks like Luxor are going to hold steady and not give them anything. Possibly Zesty could take out the player holding connector here. But even just as I say that, Caster's Curse, he moves out of there. Might give Zesty a little bit of room to breathe.
Yeah, this is interesting. He's actually using his utility to get up mid into this connector area, and that smoke was really good for them. It's a nice little early damage onto Manti there. Nice frag by Zink onto Manti, finishing up that little kill. Pretty slow paced pistol versus SMG round from both of these sides so far.
Yeah, so just Omen are just trying to probe them at this point, just trying to figure out where they want to go. They've got one player down. In terms of Manti, it's just going to be Gonna be a case of trying to figure out which site they might not have gone for. I think they're gonna realise now it's probably gonna be B side they're gonna go for. Flashes coming, a bit of utility. Doodle's also gonna get taken down. He's on the Deeg. Not gonna be able to stand a chance, I'm afraid. Coney
Yeah.
taking out 3.
I mean, the flash there from the CT players, allowing him to be able to pick up that 3K, play with a FAMAS. I mean, he was peeking apps already very fast so that he could get the info if the pistol players were pushing. Really great round so far from them. Loving the plays.
Suggest we're probably going to see a burst out onto... Well, I was going to say probably burst now with pistols onto B, but it looks like I might go underpassed away, possibly. Possibly see a boost.
Oh, early dink.
Whoa. Doodles with a dink, but Zesty to finish the kill. Creep Power is sat on shot, possibly able to pick up a couple of players, especially if we do see a boost here. As the ETs run onto A side, able to pick off JCO. Manti taking down Zesty. Steve able to get the bomb down.
Capal doing some really nice early damage to Steve there for the bomb, not able to finish it up. Gets an early dink actually from TM.
Yeah, it suggests the young players, try not to peek too much here. Let them come to you. You've got the upper hand, but the TM getting just tapped out of oblivion there. Cody from behind. Won't pick up the first round of the game. Should be able to get a decent buy now, leaving Luxor in a little bit of a tricky situation in terms of economy. Be interesting. I'm assuming they'll probably go for the Force, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, one player with the Deagle under Manti.
I mean, it's got to be said. The aggressive plays from Omen have been throwing off every team they've played against that I've casted. And this match doesn't seem to be any different. Yeah, they're down a round, but let's be honest, they lost pistol. It got countered really well by Luxor. This round, however, we'll just see how Luxor handles the heat, especially against AKs. I mean, we've seen what they can do with it. So TM's just spotted one on B.
Looks like Zinked might catch a player out. The smoke just about covers it over. As Omen slowly gravitate towards B. Zink gonna check out window. Manti might not be looking for it as this smoke fades. Gonna take out Manti. This is their chance now to get out onto the B site. After the pick, Stevo getting up down towards short. Cody though.
They don't check it.
They don't check it at all. Cody almost picking up 3. Leaving Zinked and TM to take B.
They have the info.
TM could be in a bit of trouble here if he peeks. He does, taken out. One down with Zink, 17 HP.
Oh.
Able to get a quick burst onto the head, but not enough to take down. How would we say that? Exactly.
Yeah, no, that was just. You're still trying to figure out how to say it.
Yep, it's gonna take me a moment.
But yeah, no, great play so far. But I mean, the CTs are handling the aggression quite well there from the AKs. Obviously that. I mean, Manti not getting the info, even though there was cracking the smoke. The T's were just a little bit too fast for him, not really realizing the play. Got caught out completely. That really could have shut down the CTs. Luckily, obviously, we have Luxor's all player going really hand for them in that round. So good hold. We'll see how they handle it for the A now, by the looks of things. JCO, unfortunately, extinguishing his own molly in a smoke, so looks like they're predicting a fast play. Not really, though. Not really happening.
Yeah, looks like we're waiting for an execute.
Here we go.
Is Zesty going to see player who's close. JCO could get a few here, spamming through the smoke. Seems to feel like there's some pressure towards Palace with the UMP. Catches the player out, time to throw a little bit of utility. Somehow manages to get yet another one. USP out, gets a 3k.
4K.
4k?
I believe. Yeah, 4K. Because, yeah, it's just popped up. He's just, I believe he just got a 4K from that round. Yeah, he did. He picked up
You get an
guy
early
in
frag.
Palace, and then, yeah. And then the guy through smoke. I mean, I got to admit, though, the Luxor players kind of wasting some of the utility in you know, using mollies versus smokes there. But, you know, very, very easy mistakes to make. Nothing to really say there. Well played by the Luxor team.
I think they're probably going to do what I suggested a couple of rounds ago, possibly. Maybe just wait until the round ticks in a little bit. Wait for some utility usage and then do a fast push onto B site. The only problem with doing it this way and sort of waiting for this player to peek you, you've got a chance of killing him, but if you don't, you know, there's that chance for them to come out here and really, you know, take some damage and call the other
Connie,
players over.
unfortunately.
Crep are really unlucky there not to get some frags. But a bit of an eco cleanup there from Luxor.
Yep, very well played by them. Nothing much to really say about that round. Seem to be countering the aggression of Omen, so sometimes that pressure can crack most teams they play against. Luxor, however, they seem to be countering the aggression quite easily here. Whether that's something they've gotten used to over time playing, or whether or not they're used to from Omen, you know, maybe they've studied up or whatever. JCO actually in a really good spot here.
Yeah, fast play down middle. Zing will get this. Lante holding strong, but getting taken down by the player in Palace, who's probably going to retreat now. Follow Zesty's taking the bomb to B. I mean, Doodles could make some noise here, just sort of keep them on A site, you know, possibly giving Zesty a free plant on B. If he's going to do that, though, he's going to need to play this quickly before the CT players start to get a little bit of cold feet on the idea. Got one player now rotating over into kitchen. That now gives Luxor the idea to know where the bomb is. 50 seconds remaining for Omen to get something out of this round.
Just really slow pace, trying to figure out where these CTs are. Not really allowing for mistakes.
Zesty here could possibly go B. He does need to make his mind up pretty quickly where they're going. Don't know if they realise we've got two players in CT. The Doodles suspects there could be another, takes down both of them.
A second kill with only 1 HP left, and we did get dinked by that first player.
Little bit of skill.
I mean, yeah, so far it's been majorly in Luxor's favour. That round obviously going towards Omen. Good play by them. The aggression actually seemed to work out. Taking it slow though, and actually probing the site, figuring out where these CTs were. You can't really usually do that when it's a 5v5 all the time.
Zink's probably going to get caught out here.
I mean, the flash comes in from a team. Not necessarily the best. Steve manages to pick up the kill and 12 HP remaining.
Oh, wallbang. Creep out. No one expected that one.
I didn't even catch it. I didn't think anybody would be.
Well, I was watching Zinked, and I trying to figure out where he died from. And then I had to look up at the kill feed to realise it was a pretty nutty wallbang. Creep out, got a rough idea someone could be under. Zesty uses a little bit of utility on the window. Could possibly give the players enough chance to possibly push through connector onto A site. But JCO able to see just a little bit, not quite able to take out TM as he gets boosted through.
Managing to jump over. Zesty dodging the AWP, I believe.
But I still don't feel like, you know, Omen fully know what they're doing. You know, they're going to have to commit to A site, but there's still a little bit of you know, the little unsure, a little bit timid to sort of push on and take A site control at the moment.
Connie getting a lot of good info right now.
Corny. 3 kills with a FAMAS.
That's just...
We've got Zesty. I managed to take down the alt player 1-on-1. But a CT win. Omen taking too long to push onto the A side. Not expecting the you know, the play of Connie from under Palace.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you mentioned, they just seem timid and scared to do much, and I think that does come from the fact that Luxor are genuinely countering everything that Omen does right now in terms of the aggression. They're stopping the mid plays, which, if you cast your mind back to the first Omen game that we casted, was the main thing they used to actually get those round wins. So right now, what they've been doing doesn't seem to be working in their previous games. Early picks as well now coming in.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite expecting Luxor to push them that heavily. I think it's probably not going to work in their favour though. You know, Homan having the worst eco, or you know, 1-for-1 trade, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but it looks like despite, you know, the difference in buys, we're going to see Omen on the front foot.
Already got the advantage and they have an AWP now.
JCO able to get a player from window onto mid. A little bit of a crossfire being set up here. Zest is going to get pushed. Catches JC with a grenade in his hand. Timing.
It's worth noting that their bomb is all the way in T-spawn, and the player isn't moving. I believe we may have a disconnect. Yep.
Yeah, Steve-O had to be taken out by his own player to retrieve the bomb.
I mean, that actually kind of now puts this round in favour a little bit of the Luxor player. Not by much, obviously still got that AWP on Doodles, but it does benefit him slightly. Can help him out a lot.
And I would assume we are going to see a tech pause as well.
Yeah, that was just called a second ago, which I believe is going to take place. So
yeah, I can see Steve-O coming back on Steam, so it's probably just a crash. Coney though, with it all to do, looks like he's going to say about the M4.
yeah, I mean, smart play by him really. Doesn't have any money to really be sacrificing here. He's going to need this M4 heading into the next round. 6-3 in favour still of Luxor, however, but Omen making their presence on the round. They're actually pushing up on the round count, so as we get Steve-O back in again, we'll just have to see how they keep now moving and trying.
Currently 6-3 to Luxor Esports going ahead into this one. Certainly should be interesting. I mean, I think Luxor is going to be beneficial for them having the lead. That being said, Omen also, you know, strong CT sided, able to sort of, you know, probe into sites and really find out where, you know, the T's are. You know, they're not the team to sort of sit back like they have for some reason are on T side. You know, they will try and make flanks, they'll try and make lurks, you know, they'll gather information, and it'll be interesting to see when they move over to CT side. Even if they do have a round deficit, I wouldn't count them out. That being said,
no, definitely not.
By all means, looking at the buys here, other than Coney, we've got all players running pistols.
Is it Connie or Coney? I believe it's Connie.
I think it's more of an accent thing why I'm calling it
really,
Connie.
yeah, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, yeah, either way, I mean, like you're saying, it's to be interesting to see how Omen play on CT side. In my opinion, right now, whatever they're doing on T side just isn't really working. They're pulling out round wins, but let's be honest. I mean, it has been very close the entire way of them winning some of these rounds. Some of them they shouldn't be winning at all. Just getting like really. I mean, let's be honest. Those 2 picks in mid with the Deagle were just that literally broke them into the round, and they managed to easily win that round. After that, obviously losing a player, even then, not really making it too much of a task. But it's It's definitely going to be an interesting thing to see Omen. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that transferring over into CT side, they're definitely going to need to start picking up more rounds on T. I mean, Luxor are not going to let them push them about by any means. I mean, we've literally seen it this game. They've already stopped a lot of these mid pushes, which have been benefiting Omen in the past games that we've watched, or the past game that we watched. It really, really did help, and it really did push them over to the other side. So it's like, it's we're just going to have to really see now how these next few rounds come out. I mean, it's going to be a quite a weird buy on the side of Luxor. So, I say weird. It's just going to be pistols.
It's what they can afford.
Yeah.
Steve-O's still having a little bit of technical trouble. Got kicked out had to, left the first time due to a crash. Second time got a bit of an issue with easy anti-cheat. Should be back in the game in a moment, and then we should be back underway. It should be around for Omen to take. We are, like I said, we are seeing that M4 coming out from Coney, but the rest of the team on pistols. So providing Omen, play this right, stick together as a unit. No matter sort of what they really do, if they stick together, if they're aware of their economy and play this right, we should see an Omen round.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to call just because we saw it a minute ago with Omen pistols. I think that Luxor can still do the same thing, especially with how they've been countering the aggression. It just depends on how they play this round. We've got some utility, and we have some really strong weapons, obviously, with two CZs. We've still got that M4 in play with a smoke and flash. It's definitely interesting. Steve-O not looking like he has enough money to buy, so that might actually genuinely affect him here. It's almost, I don't want to say it's technically a 4v5 because I mean pistol buy, but that Omen is kind of down a player right now with the Glock, so just see how it goes. If you can make any plays with that
little
Glock.
Bit of a strange one. Is someone going to drop him? Or...
Oh, there we go. Did he?
Yeah.
Maybe he had the money. I don't know. That might have been a GeoTV bug. Well, that's someone that actually brought him. I don't know.
He might have. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Someone might have carried off an orb previously and dropped it near him.
Possibly saving up for an AWP on the side of Luxor by having that USP. It's more than likely. It's pretty much guaranteed. Been playing really well with that AWP actually so far. Keep in mind, Connie, however you want to say it, will be the one to get info if they do go B. It doesn't look like it's going to be a rush into it, so smart by Omen not to be pushing anything too aggressively on this round, and they're giving them respect than they have done some previous teams, so...
That suggests we're probably going to see Zesty go once again, boosting into window. They're waiting for it at this point, and still Zesty's managing to get these frags. Really, if you are going to be sort of holding that window angle, they need to, you need to be getting that pick. You need to be sitting somewhere, or at least, expecting it. Speaking of boosters, Coney going over, gonna take the player on shot. There's one wide open. He's quite close here, and Zinkt is able to be able to take that one down. As we see Omen pushing onto the B site. Zesty not quite sure where Creepower was, and we see JCO in a 1v3 with a CZ. Might be worth just going for the exits here, but we see him pushing towards kitchen. Looks like he might have to go there. Oh. Managing to pick up Zesty with a cheeky headshot, able to take an M4 out of this. Wanting to go for the round, but not quite getting it. Steve-O with the op.
Yeah, I mean, very normal outcome. I was getting a little bit worried there with that CZ player playing on the window, but up by Omen, so nothing too shocking there in terms of results for that round. Round count starting to creep a little bit more as an equal now, looking to possibly be 6-5 here, depending on how obviously Omen play this, and whether or not Luxor get any good picks like they did that round and managed to follow through.
Well, Steve already taken down JCO as we see Omen once again gravitating towards the B side. Coney not quite able to get the kill, but his teammate waiting to pick that one up for him.
Good little dink coming up from Power, and unfortunately gets picked up by Zinkt, but did play a really good position there with the USP and managed to pick it up, so smart play.
Manti hiding in kitchen and
have the info.
Zaka not quite able to get it. Manti now on his own, P250 in hand. Possibly worth just waiting for, you know, the plant and seeing if you're able to take out that player. Has a rough idea of where he was going to be, but I think he's taken down here. Luxor 6, Omen 5. It's getting back to being a close game again. That gap certainly has disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, Zing played really well there as well. He went to plant the bomb, faked it out to draw out the Luxor player. Actually managed to, and kind of just expected really. Again, it was quite a close pistol round. So, I mean, even though they are winning, it's still relatively close. Something to keep in mind. They're not necessarily one-sided pistols, so Luxor are doing something correct. Let's just see how they play now when they've got their full rifles back again.
Creep are potentially going to walk into the bullets of Zinkt.
Great flash. That early round pick really is now going to start to benefit Luxor. What I've also noticed is almost a dynamic shift. We started to see Luxor really playing defensive. Now they're actually amping it back up again and using the aggression against Omen, which seems to actually be throwing some of these players off.
Certainly have a little bit more utility to play with. TM taking the pick as the player tries to cross from mid to under. Looks like we're going to see bomb gravitate towards A now. Zesty managing to take out the A player as we see Luxor try and move the players over. Zaka waiting for that one as Zesty tries to push around and stop the rotation.
The thing is, they actually have given Omen bomb control here, which is very smart, assuming that you can actually just play retake here with the man advantage. So they're giving them any early picks.
Yeah, I don't think Luxor quite know where this bomb's going. Duda's going to get the plant now on A. Luxor are going to realise pretty quickly where that is. We're going to have one play coming from Jungle, one CT. Oh, Jungle and CT left as Doodles with the sharp kill.
Against an AWP as well, that position's quite hard to hit even with
Doodles playing a little bit too aggressive there, getting caught out. Leaving TM on his own. Has a rough idea where the next player is. Corny to finish out the round to make it 7-5 even to Luxor.
Again, not a huge round difference, and again, a very close round, with the Omen players hitting some, I mean, honestly, some really nice shots on the AWP players here. It's a question of how are Omen going to adapt to these dynamic shifts? Are they going to be ready for more aggression? How do they counter that, you know? It is one of those things where you're now literally seeing Luxor just come along and start being a little bit more aggro towards Omen when getting those early picks, so it's benefiting them a little bit.
So quite a split Omen team at the moment. Bomb down in a position which would suggest that they are prepared to go anywhere based on sort of the way the round plays out. Zink getting flash, making a little bit of noise on chair.
This crossfire by Grapal and Zaka, they're just like, it's a good crossfire, and they're gonna get a lot of info. Could be really good. Is now the flick there from the AWP player from Luxor. That was such a good pick, so needed there.
Creepow could just see the player.
Zink not ready.
It looks like we are going to see Omen going for an A push.
Should get mollied off there. Aggression.
Steve-O legging a player. Steve-O not quite able to get the player CT. Another round for Luxor.
So far, it's been a battle of who can get those early picks the quickest, and how that's actually affecting the Omen plays. I've genuinely noticed it quite a bit now, but it is actually still worth noting that CT's economy has actually been pretty bad. Almost, not the entire game, but ever since they got broke those first few rounds, even now they're winning. They're still losing quite a bit of money, and there actually is a crack in that mid smoke there. She's gonna probably be giving him a lot of info. Yeah.
Omen now pushing down. Looks like
Oh.
he'll try and aim for short, but Zaka with a couple of kills. Creep out here. Could potentially, if he moves into that, does see the legs of the players. Is he going to predict that there's another one there, though? Managing to get Zings.
It's worth noting that Zaka there actually got a 1 bullet 2 kill. I mean, that's a 2-for-1. Nice little AWP push. I know they're only on pistols, but it's still a really nice kill to see. Luxor again countering the aggression there. There was a hole in that smoke on my end. I don't know if you could see that. That does kind of break that push there. So good info by them.
So one thing I haven't seen is I haven't seen sort of like a smokes execute come from Omen yet. They've taken the time and played for picks, but we're sort of pushing onto sort of open sites and relying on the flanks of other players. Zink now is going to flash, not quite getting Manti though, who's been able to take that one pretty much uncontested. Bomb down though for Omen, so nothing to play for in this last round. Zesty nearly getting caught out as Omen. TM even moves his way into Zesty though, wanting to take it back for Omen in this last one. TM, I'd suggest here just needing to play passive and play out the rounds. I don't think he's got it.
The question there is, would he have had that if he didn't hop off of it the first time? But I don't know if that was an accident. I think it genuinely probably wouldn't have mattered, but it was like that half a second where he might have just about caught that off. But really well played by Omen. What I was going to comment on is how even on that T side, it felt like Omen was really playing for those frags and trying to pick up some stuff there. So as in, you know, trying to pick up those easy frags, take those 1v1s, take those duels, just trying to constantly harass the Luxor players. Not really working out. I mean, there was not many executes I saw come out apart from when it was against actually against pistols. It was quite strange. I saw a lot of flashes and a lot of team flashes. Didn't really notice a lot of executes like you mentioned. So, but now obviously switching over, Luxor are now going to be on the T side. Let's see how they play. Got a nice little 3 stack from the CT, so it's actually going to get aggressive.
And we're going to see smokes and flashes as well in pistol. Some unexpected aggression from Omen. Something similar to what I talked about earlier, previous round. You'll find that Omen CT side are not the side to just sit back on some rounds. You know, they will try things, they will try and get around. You know, if they'd have found that Luxor weren't on A side, they were on B, you'd have found 2 players potentially trying to rotate around the back. You know, Luxor are going to have to stay on their toes if they're going to want to keep this lead.
I mean, it's worth noting as well. That was also a complete mirror of what the very first round of this game actually was like. Luxor wiping out Omen exactly when they tried pushing, and funny enough, this time around it was TM picking up his first 4K of the game, all with that USP, and even getting that last kill on really low health. Not a single kill made.
Managed to sneak his way past the smoke. Could catch out Doodles. Doodles to be the one to catch him out. So this is where sort of Omen's probing could come into effect here if they're able to sort of figure out somehow that from here now. So Doodles potentially, you know, not got the help to really push into Palace and check this any further. Cody most likely known to be in mid, and we're left with Zika to take the D, possibly get a few here. Not able to take that. Doodles peeking that corner quite well.
Also worth noting, no CT players tied there. Pretty good money for them. It's keeping their money up, obviously, not needing to buy anything new. Can just genuinely trade up those weapons if they want to next round. Good round by Omen.
Yeah, we should see this return to 9-9. Looking at the pistols used, Luxor probably going to go for a fast play somewhere. As we see a few players gravitate towards B. Coney waiting for a pass through under, but nothing's going to come.
It's worth noting that at the moment, Omen don't have any mid presence, so whether or not they're expecting it, it looks like they're now starting to realise. But
I think it's more based on weaponry. I think in a scenario like this, it's, you know, they know they don't need to buy. They know Luxor's economy. They, you know, they're thinking about this properly. They're going to use those weapons to just sort of get as much money as possible. But TM taking out the one with the rifle. It's going to give Luxor an M4 if they're able to pick it up.
I mean, even though they lost a round, it's still quite impressive they managed to pick up that many kills. I mean, 2 kills doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're on Glocks, that money is really going to be worth it. And it really does damage the CT economy. Even the slightest bit, it's still going to do some damage here. Maybe not being able to really, you know, buy the full utility. Keeping some of those players quite stationary. So.
Yeah, I can see for and against why they didn't put someone onto mid necessarily. They're probably expecting, you know, low money, quick push. But at the same time, if they had done that, creep out taking 2 out when we weren't quite ready for it there. Mid control is now in the hands of Luxor.
Technically round control now in the way of Luxor with that man advantage. Obviously, it's 2 extra players. You still got some of the utility to use here.
But one thing I did mention about Omen is they do like to get behind the players. Doodle's gonna hear Zaka coming around. AWP is down now. This kind of does put a little bit dent in the plans of Luxor.
Even saying that though, Luxor have actually managed to gain A control, so can they keep it?
And TM also gonna get taken down.
Best scenario here, Doodle saves the AWP, which it looks like that's gonna maybe be the case. Can't really complain there. I mean, it was good to get behind. Obviously, none of the Luxor players really noticed. That kill obviously to take the AWP there, really good. Yeah, nothing to really complain about. So I really I was gonna say get to keep the AWP, but now not necessarily. A good play either way by Doodles. He managed to secure themselves the AWP, took it off one of the players, get behind, get the info. Just couldn't really act on that play, unfortunately. Well played by Luxor for that round.
Yeah, definitely that. I think it was that early push down mid. Didn't quite catch it on cast, but definitely made the round.
Yeah, I managed to catch that. Krapal played it really well. I was watching from the point of view of one of the CTs. I just really wasn't expecting that aggression. Again, this is coming from Omen as well, which is quite funny. We talk about it quite a bit, or at least I do. I mean, the aggression from Omen in some of the previous games has been, I mean, really good, and has been throwing a lot of these teams off. And it seems like Luxor's actually using it against them, but sometimes it's also being caught off by it. I mean, obviously you can't always play against it. You're not always going to know. Just going to have to now see how Luxor are going to respond to Omen's aggression moving into these next few rounds. Still keeping it close though. It's only a 1 round difference. Luxor winning their first round of, I think, in the past 4. So, you know, it's looking good for Omen right now. Still only on pistol, however. So we'll have to see how they hold.
The one to watch for Omen, as I called at the start of the game, is Zesty 17-13. Also, Creep out for Luxor, matching that at 17-13 in terms of KD. So we've got some utility used on mid as bombs dropped a little bit behind as Creep out wants to try and take big control for his team.
About to be a fight on short, it looks like, between Zinked and Creep out. Actually already getting window control. That's
to play on short as Zinked. Able to get that one with the CZ. And a little bit of decision making here to do for Luxor. Small setback getting hit by CZ, but they do still have the weaponry on their side. Omen not able to pick up the weapon that was dropped on shore.
just pistols in hand still for the CT players, but they're managing to pick up quite a few kills here. The role player's already really weak. feel like this execute from Luxor is just too slow at the moment. I know they're playing against pistols, but I mean, maybe it's time to step up the aggression here a little bit.
They are getting surrounded by the players of Omen. Steve-O, how are we going to peek out? A lot of players were just waiting for that moment. I think that's the moment that's going to kick off this Luxor push. 2v2. Zesty now, last man standing. CZ.
Looks like they're quite ready for this position as well. Zesty pick up the frag though. Never mind. I mean, it's again the slow play though was a bit confusing for me. I think it didn't necessarily damage the players, but obviously you're allowing Omen to get the advantage there, getting into positions. If some of those players didn't peek and they had just stayed in position, and a few of them got mollied out, but if they just held those positions, I reckon that round probably could have gone very differently. But I mean, well played to Luxor either way. They're winning the round, and now the advantage is firmly kind of in Luxor's control. But it's the first buy round fully that we're going to actually see this game from both teams. So on these new slides. Steve over the open connects, going to miss the shot, unfortunately, allowing that through. Now they've got complete mid control.
Yeah, looks all there, taking A site. Left with Zesty and Zinked for Omen. With it all to do. It's going to be a case if they're going to try and play for the kills here, and it looks like they are.
I mean, I have to say it, and you know, it's just I've been wanting to say it the entire game, and I was hoping they would do it. It literally feels like I am watching the Omen game we watched before, except now instead of Omen being the ones getting punished from aggression, it's now, Omen using it to punish other teams. It's now actually Omen getting punished from it. At the end of the day, Luxor's showing that aggression in mid, and it's almost being given up by Omen. They're allowing players to get into mid. They're allowing them to get that control. Now we're actually seeing how that negatively is affecting them. We'll just see how they adapt now moving forward. These next few rounds are really going to dictate how this game goes.
Yeah, definitely. Still a very close game, though. Nothing to suggest if it's going to go either way. Luxor able to pick off a few extra T-side rounds up as we see them gravitate towards B.
Yeah, Luxor's been playing really well, but Omen has been managing to control these rifle rounds with these pistols, so I'm looking for Omen to probably make a play here. Again, we've got 2 rifles still on those Omen players, so...
So mentioning one thing here, we've got Zesty pushing into Palace. We've got a really good idea of where Luxor are going to go. They've managed to push forward, and bombs been dropped down in apartments now. Zesty's going to come round behind, possibly going to hear the player of Luxor rotating, could get this kill potentially if he's fast. Knows where he is, but I think Zaka's also heard this. Zaka just able to pull out for his team.
Ooh.
And Steve-O. The power of the CZ.
You just can't really be letting that happen. I mean, it's one of those things where at the end of the day, those 2 picks, I mean, that kind of dictates how that round goes as well. And it's, you know, those frags really have now just pushed Luxor into that round win. Low money for the entire CT side. This round is a must for the CTs. If you're going to start putting a full stop on this Luxor round win streak, now's the time. You've seen the execute come through. Nice pick from...
Not sure what the JCO was hoping to be shooting out there. As he fires some bullets close to his teammate.
Zinked in a really good position here behind the smoke, just waiting for the plant to come down.
Zesty able to take one on CT. Gonna wait for the aggression, probably. Full flashed and not quite able to survive the assault from Manti. Definite advantage to Luxor here. You know, the player holding stairs, gonna be able to take down Zaka with the double.
This guy is on fire right now in the T side. He's playing really well with that CZ, and obviously now pulling out those 2 frags in just a really good position and holding it really well. Omen did a really good job there to control those rifles, and even a good buy there from the rifles themselves. You've got to think now it's going to be 15-9, unless Omen do something really good, which I mean they've been known to do. It actually looks like they've stacked, but they've stacked for the wrong site.
Yeah, so. You know, if Luxor play this aggressive, Zinc's going to be in a lot of trouble. CZ in hand. And it looks like we're going to see some utility come out here as well.
But hang on, it's worth noting, Bomb's still in T spawn. So they've given them almost complete control. If CTs can get a hang of this quickly, they might actually end up having something to say. Which ACO picking up 2 frags to completely stop that, never mind.
A couple of Omen players trying to, get a bit of alert going. That's going to force the bomb to come round to A site now, because we've got the opening on the site. Zinc's almost able to catch 2 players out, saw that play happening on the minimap.
Steve actually got the information right there for the States to 8. If could do it. He's still hearing them running around. Just unfortunately not a lot they could do.
Steve-O is going to need the Deagle play of his life here, because Nanny's not going to have a chance. 15-9. Taken out with a quick shot from JCO. Straight in the head.
If you're Omen, this has got to be like, you now need to step it up. Yeah, they haven't even been playing bad. It's just been Luxor's been playing it superb so far, in my opinion. Managing to, obviously, the CT's money has been quite poor for the past few rounds, and that's also really negatively affected them. Now, hopefully, we just get to see Omen try and stop these plays.
Looks like we're going to see another execute onto the A site. Something I wish we could see more of from Omen, sort of executing onto sites. I think we were just waiting for sort of individual plays or sort of lurks or rotates or split pushes, but never quite, a proper execute or push onto sites where we didn't have angles covered properly. TM managing to get 1 here.
That bomb did get dropped as well. They know that the bomb's here now, so they can all rotate. TV, no, TV 0 actually. TV 0. Let's see if they can.
I think they're probably gonna do it, if I'm honest with you. Steve-O with 3 seconds remaining on the bomb. No one quite shooting him. Bit of a strange one there, Luke. Sounded a little unshot.
Yeah.
Well, 15-10. I was expecting, Luxor to probably pick that one up, but Omen back in it. So we're going to go for a double AWP setup for Omen. 2 M4AS and a FAMAS.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to start stepping up, now's the round to do it. Well, now's the time to do it. Say, Omen have really got to start out. Steve-O's going to be doing that without playing under right now. Get a second with a no-scope. Beautiful play. It's again, those opening frags really are stopping these T players from really doing anything. Kind of freezing them in place. So, really well played by Steve-O there.
Yeah, sorry if anyone watching the stream there, just heard some noises. There's either a Wild West gun show outside my house or some fireworks. Just making sure I'm not getting shot up.
Not to worry,
Manti creeping onto the A site, possibly able to pick up a player in connector, or near connector even.
Oh, looks like the bomb's actually floating towards A, which is an interesting idea, assuming that they have the info for these A players actually, so it's going to be interesting.
Manti will be coming out where he is. You've got Coney in a good position here to push through connector as soon as the play starts, possibly catching a few players off guard. Manti's going to see the player, know where he is, taking that on that one. He knows where Doodles is. He knows there's going to be other players rotating from the B side.
Huh.
This is going to be down to, I suggest, Coney now to get an extra few frags here. Help his team. Is he going to hear?
I think he did.
Yeah, Cody's must know here. Not able to pick up the frag though. Crosshair position wasn't quite right there, and Manti has it all to do for him. So gets the 1 kill. Can he get his team 1 step closer to the playoffs?
And he did. Wow, that's. Oh, okay. GG to both teams. That was.
Definitely an interesting game. Luxor Esports firmly now top of their division.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline now coming away from this, I mean, you have to obviously, again, give your respect to both teams. Both played, in my opinion, incredibly. a few mistakes here from Omen that really did end up costing them, unfortunately, in those later rounds against Luxor. Luxor is bringing the heat, I believe, bringing the aggression, really showing their worth in terms of, being able to actually counter that aggression, being able to do something against that aggression. You really can't complain. Luxor now firmly moving 4-0, completely atop of their division. Omen now slipping, unfortunately, into, I believe, 2-1, which is, again, not necessarily a bad record. It's just now that first loss for that crew. It's sort of now a battle of who can remain undefeated between Bitpoint and Luxor. Obviously, with Hypnotic Gaming at 1-0, we'll see what happens with them as well.
Yes,
So
still a lot of teams that could shine, could shine as the dominant force in the divisions. We've yet
yeah.
to see a lot of teams come out of the shell. At the moment, though, there's no doubt in Luxor are a contender. Um, cementing their place where they are at least for now,
Mm.
until we see some other games played. That being said, going forward, great game from both teams. Omen managed to pick up 10 rounds there. We got to see some good individual plays from some of their players. I think an individual play from an Omen player was followed up by an even better one from Luxor in some of those situations. I would have liked to have seen Omen, execute onto a few more sites. I think they relied way too much on players, trying to come, say if they were going on A site, they were relying on a player from mid or coming from a different area or under to try and support them rather than teaming up together and trying to execute way too split apart, trying to probe sites too much. Sometimes that will work for you, but I think the setup and the prediction from Luxor was too much for them in the end.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Omen there. I think the aggression did kind of kick him in the butt a little bit towards the beginning early T side for them. At the end of the day, Luxor was able to completely counter it. I think that might have thrown some of them off, and as well, just regarding both teams, whether it be Luxor or whether it be Omen, whoever was getting those first early picks. I mean, for being honest with each other, that was really it kind of felt, at least in my opinion, that was what was swaying those rounds in one advance. And those pistol rounds at the beginning of both sides, both teams were incredible. I mean, you had two players which were getting, 3 to 4 of the enemy players, getting a 3K or getting a 4K with the USP. And it was just instantly stopping that push. It was, I mean, both T-side pistols were just quite hard to watch at the end of the day. But either way, GG to both, in my opinion, great game.
Definitely. Going forward into tomorrow, we'll be announcing our games at some point later on tonight. For those that aren't part of the Discord, our Twitter links are in the top left of your screen. I will be announcing the announcement post for what games we'll be streaming tomorrow. If you're a player for a different team or you're interested in watching some other teams play in the tournament, maybe trying to scope out the opposition, certainly check that out for the casting announcements for tomorrow. And we hope to see some of you tune in again. Thank you very much for watching. We are going to end it out with a little bit of the leagues, just showing you what's gone on in some of the other games. Just note this game might not have updated yet, so you may not see those changes come into effect. Other than that, I hope I can see quite a lot of you tomorrow.